Good evening. I'm Matthew Mills, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Nebraska baseball's Dylan Carey has been named the Brooks Wallace Award winner as the nation's top shortstop. The award takes into account combined offensive and defensive performance. Carey batted .353 with 16 doubles and 15 home runs, while also bringing in Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year honors in his senior campaign. Husker softball added a talented two-way player in the transfer portal this weekend. Faith Aragon announced her transfer from New Mexico State to Nebraska on Saturday. With the Lobos last season, Aragon had a record of 21-10 in the circle with an ERA of 2.62. Offensively, she hit .369 and had 26 RBI. Husker track and field earned two top 10 team finishes at the national championships this weekend. The women's team tied for 8th with 27 points, and the men's team finished 9th with 28 points. And finally, the Husker football team and Husker athletic department are mourning the loss of former assistant coach George Darlington. Darlington was on staff from 1973 to 2002 and is the longest-serving coach in Nebraska football history. He was 87. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Back right swing by Kennedy Martin, dug by Bergen. She can do it all. 23-13 Huskers right side swing. Virginia Adriano. Kaboom! Putting dents in the rec hall deck. It's 24-13.
Prince will come out and take it with 14 seconds to go. Huskers trailing by 2. Prince against Sellers, who has 4 fouls. He'll take a 3. Betcha! A CBA 3 for Britt to give Nebraska the lead. I said you want Britt Prince taking the shot, and she did it. She's got 22, and the Huskers have the lead in Seattle.
Nebraska 9, Oklahoma State 1, bottom of the 5th. Runner at first, 2 outs. Jordy Fromm with a 1-2. Godwin swings, and they appeal to first. They rule. She went around. Strike 3, and Nebraska is going to the Women's College World Series in 2026.
Now, here are your hosts, Kyle Crooks and Matt Coatney on the Huskers Radio Network.
Yes, welcome in a new week of Sports Nightly. You heard the names correct. Kyle Crooks, and who's that? That's right. The voice of Husker women's basketball, Big Red Reaction, everything. Oh, the camera's going crazy here in studio. Matt Coatney joins me here in studio, one of the legends of Husker Radio, and I'm so happy. You're going to be doing 3 days this week.
Is that right?
Us. That's right. Last time I checked, you'll be doing 3 days with us this week. We're going to talk about everything under the sun, but first things first, it is so great to see you. How you been?
Well, it's great being back here. Every time I walk into this studio, it's like coming home. And it seems like once or twice a summer, I get off my spaceship and I parachute back down to earth and remember my Husker Sports Network radio brethren, and I appreciate being here. This is a lot of fun. First thing I thought about when I got here today was we're coming up close to the 1-year anniversary of Kyle being at our network. So
we know that's the most important anniversary we have coming up. It's so important.
It's interesting. A few years ago, we had a network holiday party, and everybody had to stand up and talk about how many years they had been with the network, and people are like 3 years, 7 years, and I was like 27. like oh my goodness! But I love this show. Mm-hmm. I probably could take most of the 2 hours telling stories about when I have guest hosted this show. In many ways, I feel like Chris Berman when he comes back once every 5 years to host Sports Center, and he looks around like, oh, this show has changed so much.
It has.
Years. We used to host it at one of our affiliates here in Lincoln, and we used to host it in the football radio booth. Mm-hmm. That's where we did Sports Nightly. We used to do it on the 3rd floor of the stadium. I think this is the 4th or 5th place in the stadium. Mm-hmm. I've done Sports Nightly. And, the show used to be 3 hours.
I do remember that, yeah.
And
I've heard about
to
that.
see what you guys have done with the show is wonderful. I love the segments that you do. I know coming up later tonight, I'm a little scared because
Pop culture.
everybody in the back was telling me we're going to do the pop culture thing.
We're trying to stay relevant and cool here, Matt.
Okay. You know, as a play-by-play announcer, you try to come up with stuff on the spot on play-by-play. But when I filled in for John Baylor on the volleyball spring match a couple months ago, Jalen Robinson was going to get in the game, and I thought, I'm going to prepare something here. And so, sure enough, they set her up, and I said, shoot set, right side attack. Jalen Robinson for the kill, cuckoo, ka-choo, Mrs. Robinson, and Lauren Cook West had nothing. And then at the break, Josh Hilkeman was produced, and I said, Josh, you get that reference? He goes, is that a new three-point call you're working? Is that going to replace you, betcha? And I'm like, you guys ever heard of Simon and Garfunkel? And you're like, aren't they a musical group? So I'm probably, if we're going to play pop culture here, I might have to turn in my grandpa card.
I think, and by the way, new grandpa, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Oliver
Matthew.
May 29th, Oliver was born, so I share the same birthday as Oliver.
It's the greatest birthday ever.
Yeah.
Right now, you don't burp as much as he
well,
does.
who knows?
It's a long show. We don't know. I have to tell you, the only thing in life I've ever wanted to do is be a father. And now I think right behind that is being a grandfather. My daughter Jill says he's perfect, and I agree with that. We got him out of the house today, took him to lunch at one of my favorites, and he slept right through lunch. So we were able to have lunch, and he does great in the car seat. He does great in the swing. He does great on my shoulder. He burps for me. And the greatest thing about being a grandfather is when it's time for me to go home, I hand him back to my daughter and say, good luck. But I'm so happy being a grandfather. Everybody told me I would love it, and I do. And my daughter and my son-in-law Marvin got him a Cardinals onesie, so when I showed up over there and he was wearing that world's youngest Cardinals fan, a tear came to my eye. We start him early in the Coatney family. You get disowned if you're not a Cardinals fan. That's why Camden Cone is my favorite person in the room right now. But
no, it's but it's semi-retirement for you. That's why there was a little bit of confusion in the beginning. Oh, Coatney, what are you retiring from women's basketball? And no, he's not going anywhere from the network. Just retired from your 9 to 5. Yeah. So you have a little more downtime, but opportunity to spend it with your grandson Oliver. But I saw, what was it, a couple weeks ago? You had a countdown to Big Red Reaction to the day. Do you have like the countdown in your mind every single day? Where you
not in my mind, but every once in a while when there's big news, like I think I did that because a lot of the networks and some game times were announced, so we knew the Ohio start time. So it was easy for me to say, well, we're this far away from Big Red Reaction. And fans seem to get a kick out of all that. When I go out in town and talk to fans, they are so excited about the Huskers 24/7, 12 months a year. It doesn't take long for people to ask me a couple of questions about how do you think we're going to be this year? How many wins are we going to have? And how good is Ohio, And so I enjoy doing those little things every once in a while. When there's a reason to, you can get stupid with it, and I don't like doing that. But if there's a reason to put it out there, I also did that kind of tongue in cheek. My dear friend Marty Bannister is the play-by-play voice for Ohio, and he has listened to Big Red Reaction many times, and so he'll kind of nudge me and say, hey, I was all the way back in Columbus. You were still on the air. Did you get done on like Monday afternoon with the show? And so I kind of did that a little for him because Marty is uber excited about getting to call a game in Memorial Stadium. So some of that was for him.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was Minnesota. Game obviously didn't go the way we wanted, but we landed. I was in my car, and you guys were still on the air.
Yeah.
So it was, of course, it's not a long flight, but to think you guys were still chopping it up with the fans late into the night. We were talking today. There was a group that was in here Dave Nathan, who's the radio voice of Carolina baseball, who's here down the road.
Yeah.
He gave him a tour today, Memorial Stadium. We were breaking down our football broadcast. I said it's about 11 hours long. 2 hours of it is Big Red Reaction, but it's capped at 2 hours. You guys could talk for quite literally 6 hours.
Oh, sure. And the show, back in the day when we had a 12-and-a-half-hour broadcast, Big Red Reaction, I think the longest we ever did was 3 hours and 45 minutes and still had callers on hold.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't like we got done at 9 o'clock at night. That was middle of the night. You know, there used to be so many more night games before all the TV windows came into play. And so an 11 a.m. kickoff was rare. So I just assumed I was going to be getting off the air sometime between 2:30 and 4 in the morning. And people always say to me about Big Red Reaction, they're like, do you like doing that show? I'm like, who wouldn't like doing that show? You get to take the pulse of Husker Nation as soon as the game is over. It's before anybody's had a chance to read any dog with a blog or what the newspapers say. This is raw, what the fans saw. And there's never been one show where someone doesn't come up with something where I go, really? That's what you got out of that? You know, I'm sitting in the booth and I watch the game and DB is there and you're there and Benny Mack is there and we're kind of talking about what's going on. And then they come up with something that you hadn't even thought of, and it's thought-provoking. I love it.
Yeah, it's such a unique experience. My first year here, it was fun listening to Big Red Reaction for sure. Jeremiah Searles will be back for most of those shows again this year. Did want to start with the sad news that was mentioned in the ticker. George Darlington did pass away yesterday morning at the age of 87. I know George, of course, he's longest tenured assistant in program history, 30 seasons, just a winner. 304, 65, and 3 was his collective record in his 30 years. 14 conference titles, of course, 3 national championships. And I know him from just being at practice every single day. Rain, sleet, cold, sunny, beautiful, 100 degrees to start fall camp. He was always there in his chair, sitting on the sideline of the grass practice fields. I can remember a quick story of, I forget what week it was. It might have been Iowa week, but it was like 15 degrees outside. And Coach Rule wanted the players to feel the cold. So he wanted to close the garage doors, the partition between the indoor and the outdoor. And that meant that George was sitting outside in the cold. And then Matt looks back at his GAs and he says, would you please open the door for Coach Darlington so he's not freezing cold? But he was at every single thing, and to see how he interacted with the players that he coached. Jay Foreman, who goes to every single practice, he's a liaison between the alums and the program. And you see how he interacted with Coach Darlington and helping him to his car in his late years in his life and just helping him in and out of his seat. You could see the brotherhood. And it was almost kind of emotional to watch some of that because of the impact that Coach Darlington had on his players for decades and decades. And he's a champion, and he is such a foundational piece, Matt, of what we know Husker, this place to be, Husker Nation to be. It's and those 90s years and previous to that, it's a program that's built on championships and built on the back of a guy like George Darlington.
It is not a stretch to say George Darlington was Nebraska football. Obviously you can talk about Bob Devaney, you can talk about Coach Osborne, and we've done that many, many times. But how did these people get lifted up? And it was the Charlie McBrides, it was the Ron Browns, it's the George Darlingtons. And I found it very interesting after the announcement was made of his passing. If you look at social media, the number of stories like you just told, the number of stories people have had when they interacted with Coach Darlington at a high school football game at Seacrest Field, always in the press box, always with a take on the game. But, in basketball, we talk about gym rats. Well, he was a gym rat for football, always at practice. And it's sad to look at someone who really was part of the tapestry of a run of college football that very few schools will ever see. I don't think in today's world you're going to see somebody coach for 25 years and have the same assistants. I mean, it's hard to have an assistant for 3 or 4 years because so many assistants are wanting to become head coaches. And there's many more opportunities now with all the mid-majors who have came up. But our thoughts and prayers, condolences to all of Husker Nation, especially Coach Darlington's family. He was a gem, a gentleman, and boy, you talk about somebody who just knew football, and everything he did to teach football to people, I think says a lot about the man, and he will be missed.
Yeah, a Husker to the very end. And again, the relationships that you see with his former players that were on display at the practices that I went to, it was a coach-player relationship and a true love and a bond all the way to the very end. You know, it doesn't matter that your playing days or coaching days are done. That just stays with you to the very end. So rest in peace to George Darlington at the age of 87, passing away yesterday. We'll get into more of football. Just recruiting news continues to avalanche in a positive way for Matt Rule and his staff. We'll touch on the Brendan Sorsby stuff. There's plenty to get into. The men's basketball documentary is airing tonight, really, as we speak. We'll get into maybe the New York Knicks, too. That's an interesting championship story. But coming up next, Jessica Cootey had a chance to sit down with University of Nebraska System President Dr. Jeffrey Gold. That conversation's next.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Big savings are here at Woodhouse Nissan on our most popular 2026 model year trucks and SUVs. Get up to $5,500 off MSRP on Nissan Rogue and Nissan Pathfinder, or up to $7,000 off Nissan Murano. Or enjoy 0% APR for 60 months on these SUVs or Nissan Frontier. With approved credit, tax title license extra, when financed with NMAC. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires June 30th, 2026. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
In the mood for a wild ride? Then enter the Nebraska Lottery's Pony Payout promotion. Until July 28th, when you enter non-winning Pony Payout scratch tickets online, you could win a 2026 Ford Mustang GT Fastback. Gallop over to a Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Ford Mustang is a trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor Company is not a sponsor of this promotion. Pony Payout top prize odds 1 in 120,000.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Ford is here for those who build America. Those who believe that giving everything we've got today will pay off tomorrow. Who will drive America forward for 250 years to come. If that's who you are, you value what we value. Now offering employee pricing. American value for American values. Go to Ford.com or your local Ford dealer for more information.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Cootie, and it is time for our final check-in of the 25-26 academic school year with the University of Nebraska System President, Dr. Jeff Gold. Dr. Gold, it's good to see you again. It's the summer, but are you resting any this time of year?
No, this is a busy time of year for all of us, and certainly it's been a really busy couple of weeks and months, actually, for collegiate athletics, both here in Nebraska with a bunch of great news stories, and, of course, on the national level, and I'm sure we'll have a chance to talk about that as well.
Yeah, I definitely want to dive into that because you're heavily involved. But let's start with some great news. Husker softball, what a way for this program. They've been special all year, right? But to get to the Women's College World Series, what a win over Arkansas. But you were there pretty much every step of the way. I mean, how proud are you of this program, of Coach Ravel and just this group, the way that they were able to kind of put this program back on the map?
Well, it's a great program. Coach is amazing. I think the timing of naming the field to honor her is just great timing, you know, to achieve over 50 wins in the season. And, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't call out Jordy's excellence, you know. To be in the 2020 group for 2 seasons is truly amazing. And all of the national accolades that I hear, they keep rolling. So to her and to her husband and I guess soon to be family, it sounds like we're so happy to have you join us as a coach in the program. We look forward to a long relationship.
And then Husker baseball as well, getting to host a regional for the first time in a long time, and everybody talking about that atmosphere out there at Haymarket Park. Came up short of advancing to a super regional, but I know that was the goal, was to be able to host a regional, and they also had a spectacular season. Yeah, I think 42, 43 wins, if I'm not mistaken. Not that I track this for every game, but I do. And have been at many of them, certainly the home games. I was... you know, I can tell you I was up in Omaha when we played Creighton too, and just looking at the fans, it looked very red to me. There was a lot more red than there was blue, and that was their home, home court. You know, again, to the coach and to all the players, it's just been a great year, and we just continue. You know, success breeds success. It breeds it academically. And it's certainly success breeds success athletically. People have a very solid and a very, can-do attitude. You know, I'm sure that many of our fans are also professional basketball fans. And if I just watched the recent Game 4 at Madison Square Garden. You think about it, the Knicks were down 29 points, and they just never gave up. And we can talk an awful lot about what happened during the second half. But at the end of the day, it ended up as a W. And I think that's a lesson to all of us, myself included, that when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and you just got to knuckle down and do the job and win. And they did, and we do, whether it's in the classroom, the research lab, the gridiron, or the hardwood. A lot of conversations we've had throughout this spring is we've been talking about momentum and with athletics, but also across the university, and it just seems like that's trending, and that's exciting for all of us here in Lincoln. Well, there are a number of things on the athletic side that are exciting now. The Big Red rebuild, you can see cranes and fencing starting to go up around parts of Memorial Stadium. That's very tangible evidence. When they start to take our parking spaces away, it's real, of course. But when we get back to Devaney, I'm really excited to see what it looks like when it's no longer pure concrete, and we're playing back in Devaney as well. There's also, on the academic side of the house, we're just at the very, very final stages of the accreditation change that we've talked about previously, bringing UNL and UNMC together. There's a lot of excitement on the part of our faculty and our staff to see that happens correctly, seamlessly, that none of our students have any negative impact, and that it's all positive going forward. This is, of course, budget cycle for us. That is to say, the regents will, on their June meeting, have an opportunity to weigh in and then hopefully vote on our next year's budget as we begin to prepare for the next biennial budget in working with the legislature and, of course, in working with the governor's office. So a lot of moving parts. We just had another faculty member inducted into the National Academy of Sciences, Professor Calhoun here in Lincoln. You know, that's a really big deal. I mean, these are very, very elite academic organizations, and every time we have a faculty member inducted, it's a cause for celebration.
And you've talked a lot about just, again, you know, the where we're headed with education and the things that have been going on here. It just, again, a reminder about the power of higher education.
Well, you know, as I've said many times on our chats together, but also every time I get a chance to stand behind a microphone anywhere, that higher education, all of education, is the single most important determinant of not just of economic mobility, financial earnings, which it is, but more importantly, social mobility. To have an educated electorate underpins the core values of our democracy, and higher education is everything. And, you know, our job is to provide affordable, accessible, and most importantly, quality higher education, and to make it accessible to all, whether it's our Nebraska Promise Scholarship programs that offer free tuition to any student with an adjusted gross income under $65,000 a year, which is roughly at our state median right now, whether it's the work we do to provide similar programming for our first responders. Of course, on the merit side, our Perfect ACT program, but now our Next Gen program, the Next Gen Scholars, which I don't know if we've talked about yet, but that provides full cost of attendance, meaning all room and board and tuition and fees for any Nebraska student that has an ACT between 32 and 35. And by the way, in case you're wondering how many there are about 460, at least last year, there were about 460. Now, many of them are University of Nebraska students, but some of them are not. There are about 160, 170 that chose to go to other universities in other parts of the country. And our job is to make them all accessible and successful here in Nebraska.
That's great. Going back to athletics, and another thing that we've touched on here in the spring is that you're part of multiple committees and trying to figure out what athletics is going to do moving forward, college athletics, and trying to improve. And, it's kind of chaotic and it continues to change here. I feel like every day, and some news stories have broken over the last couple of weeks. And so I guess maybe if you could give us your take on that, and maybe your thoughts on if things are going to get settled down, and if there are going to be some solutions that maybe figure things out and settle it down and figure out a path forward.
Yeah, so I'm sure our audience has been tracking this as I've been tracking it very closely as well. But I think it's a fair statement to say that leading up to and now, since the House settlement has gone into place, the so-called NIL opportunities to pay players has resulted in a lot of confusion, and I'd even characterize it as chaos, not only among the A4 conferences, but through all the mid-level conferences and others across the country. And it's adopted a lot of national attention, in multiple different ways. One way, of course, was with the attempts by the SCORE Act to be developed by the United States House of Representatives. And last time I checked, unless you know something I don't know, it has not made it to the floor of the House because it hasn't had the political balance that it needed to be voted into law and then be passed on to the Senate and get 60 votes in the Senate. So last, I'd say 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago, as we discussed, I was invited to sit at a round table invited by President Trump with about 35 other leaders across college sports. I know everybody from board members to a handful of university presidents, including myself, to many of the commissioners of the large conferences, to student athletes were there. Now, these were individuals who previously played, although right now there are quite a few playing student athletes part of the group. And that has resulted in a lot of work that was done with the Commerce Committee of the Senate, which, of course, is chaired by Senators Ted Cruz and Maria Cantwell.
And that has resulted in what is now, of course, known as the Cruz-Cantwell bill to protect collegiate athletics in 2026, which was presented and had a hearing at committee about a week or so ago, and is actually going to be marked up in the very near future. And so the Big Ten board, chaired by Darryl Pines and our commissioner, Tony Petitti, has actually worked closely together with all of us to identify those parts of the bill that are great and that, deal with things like eligibility, the transfer portal, agent fees, things of that nature, but also to identify parts of the bill that can be improved and strengthened because, let's face it, once Congress passes this, it's going to be quite a while before we get another bite at the apple to say, if we just did this or we should have done that, et cetera. And so I'm really proud of the work that the Big Ten has done, and I think the SEC is highly aligned with us. And so, speaking with both of the senators, Cruz and Cantwell, literally a couple days ago on a Zoom call that we had, they're pretty optimistic that they can get something onto the floor of the Senate and back to the House and executed and signed by the president, by the way, before the next football transfer portal, which would really be the key if we can get that done. Now, if you're making odds, that kind of timeline is extremely aggressive and will take significant bipartisan support. But I'll tell you, one thing that I really appreciated from listening to both of the key senators involved, and by the way, talking directly with our two senators, that there's a real sense of urgency, that this chaos or this confusion or the way that our players and our teams and our coaches are being put into very difficult positions as it relates to the CSC and as it relates to so many other things, ongoing litigation. Of course, we're looking at the current status of the so-called Kessler-Berman case, which is attempting to look at what an associated entity is and this whole concept of warehousing NIL. All of those factors really need to be put to rest and put to rest in a very expeditious fashion. So, as far as the bill is concerned, my job here is as best as possible to be sure that we don't toss the baby with the bathwater and we get something effective and sustainable into the future.
I think a lot of the coaches here have talked about, they've certainly expressed their opinions and maybe the things that they'd like to see that they feel like could be beneficial. But at the end of the day, all they can do is what they can do and what they have been presented. And they've done a good job with that, obviously, with the success that we've seen. And they'll continue to do that. So with that being said, what are you excited about looking forward to as the next time we'll chat with you will probably be in the fall and we'll take on another fall season?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank the coaches and thank Troy Dannon because he's been really a leader in all of this. And he and I talk multiple times a day because these national level issues regarding the bill and several other things, the Kessler case, et cetera, are literally evolving on an hourly by hourly basis. And we are so lucky to have somebody like Troy at the helm of Husker Athletics right now, a very highly regarded national leader. But the fall, oh my gosh, am I ever looking forward to the fall. I can't wait to sit in my usual seats at volleyball. I hope I still have them. Only time will tell, but I believe that I do. I think Danny's done a great job. The recent competition out in Chadron was, sold out and amazing. I've already blocked my seats at Wrigley Field, and I'm going to go to Texas with the team, and I'm certainly going to go to Vegas with the team, but looking forward to a great season there. And, I've been spending more time and just recently spent a couple hours with Coach Rule and talking about, the challenges that all of collegiate sports are facing. And let's be very open about this, that a lot of these challenges are really football challenges right now. But, again, the round ball teams, the men's and women's basketball teams, great recruits, during the off season and a lot of success ahead. So I'm really psyched. The schedules are going to be challenging, and I know that. But, we're up for it.
Well, again, as always, I could ask you a million other questions, but we're about out of time. So as we wrap things up, final thoughts for the audience?
Yeah, I thought I would just make a quick comment that there are a lot of things that are important to college sports, and there are a lot of things that are important to our universities. But integrity has got to be one of the pillars that we are based on. And we can interpret that in multiple different ways, but there are clear corridors on how we define integrity in sports, how we define it in the classroom and in the research lab. And I'm really proud that everything we do, the decisions that we make with our coaches and trainers, what we embody in the student athletes, and I've gotten to know a lot of them from all of our campuses, because all of our teams at UNO, at UNK, and here at UNL that are successful in their conferences, I host the teams and their coaches at the President's Home, and we celebrate them. But I also get to meet with these young women and young men. And I will tell you, the level of integrity, the character that these young men and women have is truly remarkable. And we have to rest our foundations upon those values. And I'm really proud that we do that every day.
Well, Dr. Gold, appreciate you stopping by today and really throughout the spring semester. It's always super informative, and enjoy the information that you pass along. And hey, before you know it, we'll be chatting with you up in the press box here for fall football games.
I'll be there. Look forward to it.
Well, appreciate your time. And again, we'll hear from him hopefully before you know it, fall football season. Again, Dr. Jeffrey Gold joining us here on Sports Nightly. We got to step aside for a break. More coming up right after this.
Ford is here for those who build America. Those who believe that giving everything we've got today will pay off tomorrow. Who will drive America forward for 250 years to come. If that's who you are, you value what we value. Now offering employee pricing. American value for American values. Go to Ford.com or your local Ford dealer for more information.
In the mood for a wild ride? Then enter the Nebraska Lottery's Pony Payout promotion. Until July 28th, when you enter non-winning Pony Payout scratch tickets online, you could win a 2026 Ford Mustang GT Fastback. Gallop over to a Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Ford Mustang is a trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor Company is not a sponsor of this promotion. Pony Payout top prize odds 1 in 120,000.
The 2026 Nebraska football season is right around the corner. We need you there to continue to make the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium the best atmosphere in college football this fall. You can now choose between 2 Husker football mini plans, including a 3-game mini plan for only $185 and a 4-game mini plan for only $225. Both plans are your best way to guarantee a ticket to the Indiana or Ohio State game. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Car buying doesn't have to be stressful, especially when you buy from Woodhouse. Every deal starts at the manufacturer's suggested retail price. Then we apply discounts and rebates to get you to your true price. No inflated numbers, no gimmicks, and we even share our document fee up front. With thousands of vehicles and a team focused on you, Woodhouse is your stress-free way to buy a car. Start your search today at woodhouse.com. Clear price, clear choice, hassle-free all the way to your driveway. That's Woodhouse.
The Akrs Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, where it's mower season. Get 0% financing, professional setup, and local support you can't get at the big box store, only at Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer. Always good to hear from University of Nebraska System President Dr. Jeffrey Gold. Appreciate Jess doing that conversation. Jess will be back with us next week. She is on assignment, so it is Kyle Crooks. It is Matt Coatney here with you in the middle of June. Before you know it, we'll have a football season. We'll be doing our position previews. We'll be talking offensive line more than you care to hear about here and coming up soon. But, Coat, I did want to mention this, though, because Nebraska Track and Field just had the NCAA Outdoor Championships, 2 individual national championships. Axelina Johansson for shot put, her 4th career national championship, had a meet record throw. And then Dyson Wicker also in pole vault. He had a national championship as well. Both the men's and the women's finishing in the top 10. The women were tied for 8th and the men 9th place. So incredible stuff for head coach Justin St. Clair out there in Eugene, Oregon.
Axelina, if you don't know who this young lady is, it would merit your time to take a look at her accomplishments. And congratulations to both the track and field. Although I felt sorry for all track and field coaches and student athletes when the NBA finals ended and everybody wanted to flip over to ESPN to watch the postgame show with Ernie and Charles.
That's right. I was one of them.
It was 2 laps left in whatever race it was, and ESPN didn't want to go away from it. And social media blew up about, can't you put that on another channel? But no, great for both track and field. And you take a look at what Nebraska as a athletic department has done this academic year. I mean, it is.
That'll be their best Directors' Cup finish.
By far.
Yeah, because last year was 5 top 10 finishes. This year they've had 7, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's going to be up there. And so congratulations to all the departments. I mean, it's been a magical year. We know as we speak, the men's basketball documentary. How
do you think Kent Pavelka feels tonight?
He's doing a Q&A with the athletes after, and he's a huge part of that documentary. Sure. Shout out to Sam Rice and Drew Sukup, who were in studio last week. They created this entire documentary from scratch. I think it was a 7 terabyte file that took all weekend to upload. That didn't upload until 1 o'clock this afternoon, the day of the actual premiere of the event, but it's a sold-out event. Camden, where's the actual venue?
It's Rococo, isn't it?
It's Rococo, okay. Yeah, so sold-out event. They'll do a Q&A, and so that's tonight. You just think of how magical the whole year has been. I mean, the win for women's basketball in the NCAA tournament, you still have a tournament win under your belt for women's basketball. Baseball and softball speaks for itself. And then track and field, the last to finish up, 2 top 10 national finishes for the men and the women in the outdoors, and a season that you break ground in a brand new outdoor facility that's going to host a lot of different things for years to come.
Yeah, the future for track and field is what everybody was talking about several months ago with the new facility, but the future is now. I think, and Nebraska's always had the great indoor facility, but hey, congratulations. And I think are we finished with?
We are finished.
That's it for athletics. That's kind of a sad, you kind of hope baseball makes the College World Series and kind of takes you into June. But congratulations to all the spring sports especially.
And by the way, leave it up to me to shortchange Nebraska here. But this is Caleb Henry's tweet, by the way, of Husker Max. So with the 2 top 10 finishes for track, it's actually 9 top 10 finishes for the athletic year. Last year was the best Directors Cup finish in the Big Ten. It saw 5 top 10 season finishes. So you think 9 this year? They're going to be in the top 10 of the final standings.
And this wasn't a one-off year, I don't think. I think everybody can look into the future and be very excited about what Fred Hoiberg has going on, what Will Bolt has going on, and then Danny Busboom, Kelly got a big verbal today.
That's right.
And so, yeah, this isn't a one-off year. I think this is just going to keep rolling.
And by the way of the freshman class that Amy Williams is going to bring in, we could talk about that too in the second hour. Of course, the voice of women's basketball, Matt Coatney, with us. Still more to do. We have one more segment here in this hour. We have a pop culture segment, which we're all scared of what Camden Cohn is going to come up with in the second hour. Again, we'll have a twist on the conversation around the New York Knicks winning a championship for the first time in 53 years. What would it be like around here when the Huskers win again in football in a national championship? And you think of, we were just sort of talking off air last week about it. What would the Haymarket look like? And we can dive into that conversation in the second hour because I think it's an interesting one. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Final segment of hour 1 is next.
Applied Connective Technologies may be an award-winning IT company, but since day one, our passion, commitment, and top priority have always been about people. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, President of Applied Connective, helping Nebraska businesses and organizations to operate at their peak potential. We're proud to offer world-class support in the areas of managed IT and cybersecurity, phones, surveillance, door access control, cabling, audio, video, and more. To hear what customers say about working with us or for a free technology consultation, head to appliedconnective.com today.
The 2026 Nebraska football season is right around the corner. We need you there to continue to make the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium the best atmosphere in college football this fall. You can now choose between 2 Husker football mini plans, including a 3-game mini plan for only $185 and a 4-game mini plan for only $225. Both plans are your best way to guarantee a ticket to the Indiana or Ohio State game. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Right now at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get 0% APR for 72 months on our most popular Jeep and Ram models during the Make This the Summer event. Drive the 2026 Jeep Compass, Jeep Grand Cherokee, or bold Jeep Gladiator. And for truck power that works as hard as you do, special financing available on select 2026 Ram 1500 models. 2 locations, 1 unbeatable offer. Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Blair and Bellevue. With proof credit, tax title license extra. Some exclusions apply. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer ends June 30th, 2026. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, where it's mower season. Get 0% financing, professional setup, and local support you can't get at the big box store, only at Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer. Kyle Crooks and Matt Coatney here on a Monday night in the summer in Lincoln and beyond, wherever you may be listening or watching on YouTube. Our guy Shane on the chat Did mention that we're going to have to give our picks for the U.S. Open soon, so we'll do a draft at some point. We want to make sure, because you and Camden are in at different times. We want to make sure we all get our picks in. We'll have to text and make sure that Jess gets her picks in. We will touch on Brendan Sorsby in the second hour. Christopher Sullivan-Diaz will hop on, give us an update on the World Cup, what we should be watching for, because he's all over it. Team USA, of course, beating Paraguay. They'll have Australia on Friday. We'll have the fairly new pop culture segment, which will be coming up in the next hour. Camden Cohen will have that. So a lot to dive into.
Did I hear you say the other night you're not a golfer?
Not anymore.
Well,
I was
not
a golfer.
anymore.
I was a golfer in high school. I was on the high school golf team.
Okay.
Just senior year was a very frustrating year in terms of my play. It's a very mental sport, as you know.
Yeah.
And when you can't get back on the tracks mentally for golf, it's just not for you. So I found other hobbies at that point when I started going to college and doing different things, and that was just it for me. But I was a religious watcher of golf. I mean, I still remember in the back of my mind Mickelson shanking a drive at Wingfoot off the tent. Like, that was the prime Rocco Mediate, Tiger Woods in an 18-hole Monday playoff in the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Like, I was sitting there as a kid watching it from start to finish. And it just, for me, I kind of grew out of it after my senior year of high school.
It's interesting in our line as broadcasters. You're either on the course every second, you don't have a microphone in front of your face, or you don't even try. I'm the guy who I play twice a year with my son because we like getting out and getting after it. But what I found is just about every head coach I've ever known is such a good golfer when they want to play with you and they say, "What's your handicap?" I'm like, about an extra 50 pounds. You know, when you answer the question that way, they're like, "Oh, you know, I don't want to embarrass myself with the golf." But I was a little surprised the other night for you to say that. Yeah, so I kind of wondered what that was.
I think I said the line that shocks a lot of people, that if the Masters just played in my backyard, I'd close the blinds.
Whoa!
Yes, and it was that same reaction.
Wow.
But I could change my tune on that. Jess wants desperately to win tickets in the lottery for the Masters, and I'm just saying I'd rather watch it on my high definition TV than
most
stand in
of
a
the
crowd.
time. I would prefer to watch stuff.
I get the lore of being there on the hallowed grounds of Augusta and the manicured grass and what it looks like, and it's unique. But for me, maybe an hour of being a spectator there is more than enough for me. I don't need to stay there for 4 days.
I can make my own pimento cheese sandwich.
Correct. Now the concessions are cheap.
Yeah,
which is nice, but it's
you can't have
the
your
rest
cell
of it
phone
ain't.
there. You can get thrown off of there.
That's right.
How long do you think you could go without your phone?
Oh, asked Jess. I'm looking at it 24/7.
Yeah, I don't think I could go 2 hours in today's world.
2 hours?
Yeah, I don't think I could go 2 hours.
What are like your main? You're a big Twitter guy.
Yeah.
Right. We have about a minute left. You're a big Twitter guy. Facebook guy. Yeah. Are there other apps? Are you playing other games on your phone?
No, not games, but Snapchat is huge for me.
You're a Snapchat guy?
I'm a huge Snapchat guy.
Okay.
My friends, most of my friends are much younger. I still think I'm 27 years old. My gray hair tells me I'm not. But no, Snapchat is probably, I'm addicted to Snapchat.
To be honest with you, that was
surprised.
The last thing I expected to hear.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Man, you and I need to go get
Snapchat. I don't even use Snapchat because I feel like I've aged out of Snapchat a little bit. But it's a convenient means of communication, so I can
That's the way my kids communicate with me. It's the way my friends communicate with me. I'm glad I shocked you. It was worth coming in here tonight.
That's probably the most shocking thing I'll hear all year. We still have an hour coming up here for Sports Nightly. The great Matt Coatney, voice of Husker Women's Hoops. Big Red Reaction, football, all that. And we'll have more of the show, hour of the show coming up.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Big savings are here at Woodhouse Nissan on our most popular 2026 model year trucks and SUVs. Get up to $5,500 off MSRP on Nissan Rogue and Nissan Pathfinder, or up to $7,000 off Nissan Murano. Or enjoy 0% APR for 60 months on these SUVs or Nissan Frontier. With approved credit, tax title license extra, when financed with NMAC. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires June 30th, 2026. See dealer for details.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
Ford is here for those who build America. Those who believe that giving everything we've got today will pay off tomorrow. Who will drive America forward for 250 years to come. If that's who you are, you value what we value. Now offering employee pricing. American value for American values. Go to Ford.com or your local Ford dealer for more information.
Good evening. I'm Matthew Mills, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Nebraska Baseball's Dylan Carey has been named the Brooks Wallace Award winner as the nation's top shortstop. The award takes into account combined offensive and defensive performance. Carey batted .353 with 16 doubles and 15 home runs, while also bringing in Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year honors in his senior campaign. Husker softball added a talented two-way player in the transfer portal this weekend. Faith Aragon announced her transfer from New Mexico State to Nebraska on Saturday. With the Lobos last season, Aragon had a record of 21-10 in the circle with an ERA of 2.62. Offensively, she hit .369 and had 26 RBI. Husker track and field earned 2 top 10 team finishes at the national championships this weekend in Eugene, Oregon. The women's team tied for 8th with 27 points, and the men's team finished 9th with 28 points. And finally, the Husker football team and Husker athletic department are mourning the loss of former assistant coach George Darlington. Darlington was on staff from 1973 to 2002 and is the longest serving coach in Nebraska football history. He was 87. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
4 wide, trips right. We're out of the gun. Paralysis, snap, play action, fake. Backside pressure comes, ball stripped. It's picked up. Winery at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Scoop and score. Touchdown, Huskers.
Here's Drew Grigo, and he turns on one to left field. Sending Lamb back. Goodbye. 3 home runs in the frame. The freshman getting in on the fun. Nebraska feasting. 7-0 Big Red.
The ball is Hoiberg, the kick out, and the 3 by Jacobson. Got it again. The game of the year. The game of the career for Cale Jacobson. 78-75.
Now, here are your hosts, Kyle Crooks and Matt Coatney on the Huskers Radio Network.
Kyle and Coat sounds pretty good.
I like that.
Kyle and Coat. Kyle Crooks, Matt Coatney, Jessica Cootie on assignment for this week. She'll be back next week. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. Always good to have Matt Coatney in studio before he's in studio a lot, starting September 5th when the Huskers take on Ohio to start a new season with pre and post and Big Red reaction. And before you know it, we'll have basketball season, but still a long way to get to that point. I did want to touch on this because we talked a little bit in the first hour. We'll touch on Brendan Sorsby, too, because I think it's a very interesting thing. There's a lot of dominoes that are going to fall here in the coming weeks and months to come. But somebody who's a Husker historian like yourself, and I look to you for a lot of the history in this, but I watched the other night, growing up in the New York, New Jersey area, the tri-state area, a lot of Knicks fans,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Win their first title in 53 years. They had the titles in 70 and 73, and there were the doldrums in there, of course. James Dolan was the most hated owner in the New York area for many, many years. The Rangers had success. He owns both, the Rangers and the Knicks. But he was the most hated owner in the entire city, maybe in the NBA. And boy, how things change overnight. There's still some boos and things like that, but and then Leon Rose comes in, changes the whole complexion. You put together a team with Jalen Brunson, who nobody thought would turn out to be a legitimate, bona fide superstar that took $113 million less than what he potentially could have to have this year happen, to get a team around him that can win a championship. So let me ask you this. What would it be like here in Lincoln? Because there's a similar angst, right? There's not as many years. There's not as big of a gap between championships. But for Husker football fans, what would it be like to get back to the mountaintop for football? Just in this area, the hunger for it and what it would take. We know what it takes, right? Recruiting, resources, all those things. Maybe it's easier in the NBA because resources are weighed a little bit differently. It's not an even playing field in college football. But your thoughts on maybe what would the fan base be like in a playoff, or watching a team play in a college football semifinal or a national championship game around here?
I moved here to the state of Nebraska in 1995, which it's hard for me to explain what it was like parachuting into Nebraska in the midst of probably the greatest era of Husker football. And I would think if the Huskers won a national championship, Governor Pillen would have to declare the next day a state holiday. And I'm not kidding. Jim Pillen, former Husker football player, I think nobody would go to work after that. We haven't seen anything like that because back in the 90s, no internet to speak of. There was some dial-up internet here and there. No cell phones, no social media. I think that because of everything that's happened, I think that it would bring everybody together. I mean, you take a look the other night, 85,000 people for the Savannah Bananas on a night that 20,000 plus watched a College World Series game in the same state. I think it would bring the state together. So many times when I'm in what I call West Coast Nebraska, they want to remind me, hey, we're here too. You know, I think the one thing Husker football, and really all Husker sports, but especially football, has done is connect Chadron with Wayne and Falls City with Sydney. But I think it would be unbelievable, seeing the outpouring of love from New York Knicks fans, because I remember watching Clyde Frazier. I remember watching Willis Reed as a little boy. And, boy, those teams were great. I don't know if I could tell you what it would be like around here. I could tell you the Haymarket, the rail yard would be packed for the police I don't think would be able to get people out of there. I mean, people would probably stay there for 2 or 3 days. We probably would have to extend our post-game show to...
How long do you think Big Red Reaction would be that night? Do we have the permission to go beyond 11 hours?
We actually, we've had permission for special service. I think for an evening kickoff, we'd probably go to 6 o'clock in the morning.
I could see it.
Easy, and still have people on hold. I think it would be unbelievable. That's a great question, though.
It's just to see a fan base that's hungered like the Knicks are, and I know Husker football fans, again, the gap isn't nearly as large. It was 53 years between championships, and you think of how long certain fan bases have waited for championships, but I obviously being around here just a year, but you understand the hunger of what it's going to take. I think the good thing is when you look at the momentum of where this is heading, and talk a little bit about recruiting and what Trey Taylor has done in terms of peer recruiting, him getting his 5th star. I think what's such a fun development too is him playing high school football here in the state of Nebraska. He's going to play in Omaha at Millard South along with Tay Ellis, 4-star wide receiver. And every single day that you look on Twitter, you see the work that Matt Rule and Keith Williams, who leads up the recruiting efforts. But the amount of guys that they're going to have committed on that 27 class, I know 26 was a smaller group, but it was setting up for what 2027 was going to be, and they're working to flip multiple guys. They just flipped a linebacker from Missouri. They're working to get a 4-star in Khalil Taylor that they thought really Nebraska wouldn't have been an option. He's going to have an official visit coming up. They just got another wide receiver commit. I think there's going to be more big news as we go. Now, the big thing, and Coat, is getting these guys to sign on the dotted line, because verbal commitments are one thing, but official commitments are another. But I think it starts with a foundational piece. And when you have a 5-star undeniable talent, now I know a lot of that conversation we had with Raiola too, right? He was a big time. He's a legacy, obviously. His dad played here and all of that, and there was a lot of hype around him. There's going to be a lot of pressure on a young kid like Trey Taylor, but I think he has the mental fortitude, the physical gifts, and all of that to build out what we hope is going to be a championship contender.
So much in today's world of recruiting has to do with a foundational piece. And I'm just going to look at Husker softball. Look at the Kamenzen sisters and look at Farrell, who came here because of Jordy Fromm. You take a look at Trey Taylor, and he is the reason a lot of people want to come to Nebraska in 2027. Now, as you brought up Raiola, you've got to have a little bit of luck in that are the evaluations correct? And do you have the right position coach? And are you a good fit? And there are so many things that could and could not happen, but it starts there. And there is a little bit of luck involved, but you got to have dudes at the end of the day. I've said forever, first thing Nebraska has to do is fix the offensive line. And by fix the offensive line is get 5 dudes and then get 5 really good dudes behind them, because we haven't had depth in a long time. Well, then it makes it easier when you bring in a 5-star quarterback for them to look better. When you're not running for your life, you look a lot better. And so there's been a lot of talk about Nebraska has to stop winning the summer and start winning in the fall. Well, there's a lot of truth to that, but also you can't win in the fall unless you're winning in the summer also. And so I'm very excited about all the great recruiting news we hear, but I think those games in Omaha are going to get a lot of attendance this fall by people who have nothing to do with Omaha high school football.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of high school football, and
well, you don't have time. I mean, people don't understand how much time we don't have on Fridays.
Especially recruiting. I like to stick in the here and now. What is our 2026? What does Anthony Calandria look like? What's the dynamic with TJ Lateef? Our offensive line looks pretty darn good. What does the defense look like with the new DC? There's enough there. There's enough meat on the bone for me to think about, okay, 2027, especially with how quickly a lot of the guys flip and go from school to school. But you look at it right now, according to On3, 16th best class in the country, 6 blue chip recruits. And Trey Taylor, he's opened eyes this summer in a lot of those elite camps. And this will be a big 7-on-7 Battle of the Boneyard is going to be here, second ever Battle of the Boneyard. We'll have somebody from football on this week to talk about it. You can get tickets, go on the website. It's a free event, but I think they want to track how many people go to the event. So you get tickets at Huskers.com. It is the elite of the elite that come here. It's an event presented by Adidas, and I know Trey Taylor will be here. A lot of the top 2027 and beyond players are going to be here playing in that 7-on-7 event. And that's a huge recruiting advantage to have something like that in your backyard.
And when you get those top players here with a Trey Taylor, you get them in your backyard, it's a lot easier for them to say, well, wait a minute, maybe I'd like to go to Nebraska. And if you're a fan and you really you're not into the Valentino's pizza and you're not into the Runza and you're into the, well, what was our guard tackle split, and why were we playing cover 2 here? This is your event. It's a good chance for you to see the future of what's coming out there. I just think that watching Trey Taylor play 1-on-none would be worth the price of admission to watch that guy.
Yeah, it's exciting, and to see him peer recruit. We've seen him around here and just how active he is on social media to get guys here. Not just him, but Tay Ellis has been big in peer recruiting, and this is how you build it. And like you said, you have to get tougher at the lines of scrimmage, and I think that's an area that they've done that, especially with this team this year. The strength on paper going in, Code, is going to be their offensive line. As crazy as that sounds, with the 3 transfers they brought in, the returners and Justin Evans and Elijah Pritchett, that's going to be a formidable group. Now, knock on wood with injuries and all that, but they have some depth there. Guys like Gunnar Gatula and Tyler Canuck, who started the bowl game against his old team in Utah. Gatula, and you just get Preston Taumua. There are a lot of different guys in that room that are eager to see some reps. And we know injuries are going to happen, especially in this league. And then you have a group in that backfield at the running back position that I think are eager to prove themselves a little bit. We saw somewhat of that in the bowl game with Mekhi Nelson and Isaiah Mosey, and I think we're going to be really excited to see Jamal Rule. We saw spurts of him in the spring game and what he was able to do. So a lot of different positions that I think we're excited offensively, and there's question marks defensively for sure, but there's a new direction. There's an anchor in the middle that knows this defense, and Owen Chambliss, who comes from San Diego State. I think at all 3 levels, there's areas that they've improved.
I think if the offensive line is as good as or they play to their potential, I should say, I get very excited about what this offense can do, because so many people have asked me who's going to be the starting running back, and I've often said it shouldn't make a difference if the offensive line does their job, because then you can run behind that particular group. The offensive line has been so hampered through the years because Teddy Prohaska kept trying to run out there through multiple injuries, and then Turner Corcoran had to play 3 different positions on the line, and then he would get banged up. So I not only think that we've improved skill-wise, but depth-wise. You know, you named off a number of people who not only provide depth, but have experience. I just am going to spend a lot of time talking about the offensive line early on, because I think the defense, I don't think what we see in week 1 is going to be what we see in week 8, because it is a new defensive scheme and a lot of new names back there. And I think they'll be better in week 8. But I think the offensive line, because they are a group, they can tell us in week 1 what we've got.
Red zone, I want to see how things change, especially in the red area, turning field goals into touchdowns, empty trips inside the 20 into some points. We saw some turnovers in the red area, the deep red zone inside the 10, inside the 5. How do they find a way now with a mobile quarterback that presents a different way of attacking a defense when the field gets a little bit tighter? Having Anthony Calandria, who would be the presumed starter, I know they'll probably present that there's going to be somewhat of a competition there, which I would imagine there is to a certain extent with TJ Lateef, who they have plenty of confidence in, Danny Kalen, who they have a lot of confidence in, and he comes back here to Nebraska. And certainly we know how injuries take place. You could see either one of those two outside of Calandria see some time. But what does it look like when on 3rd and long, extending plays with your legs with Calandria, getting 8 on a 3rd and 7, finding a way on a 3rd down and goal from the 5 to weave through the defense and dive in for a touchdown? Just different areas of this offense that necessarily wasn't a part of it last year. How does a mobile quarterback change the calculus for what this offense is going to look like this year?
I think Dana Holgorsen has to be licking his chops, because he can look on film to see what Calandria did at the rest of his career. And he can talk to him and say, what do you like on 3rd and goal from the 8? What do you prefer to do? What did you see on this play? And then Dana can start creating types of plays to where, look, if your number 1 option doesn't work and you check down to number 2 and it doesn't work, here's how we want you to run. Don't just spasmodically run out there. I do think the Huskers will be better in the red zone, just because Raiola was more of a pocket passer, was not inclined to run. I think Calandria is not afraid to make things happen with his legs. And that's a lot of the reason why he's here.
Yeah, and, you know, Raiola did limit turnovers, right? He was sacked a bunch. So Calandria, his history would tell you he's turned it over a little bit.
That's
so Raiola did not, too.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you're not giving the ball to the other team as well. We did get a text in from Carol. Says, Matt doesn't know it, but I believe he was born the same day as my date of birth, March 23rd.
Yes.
Though my date of birth is likely a few years before his. Regardless, he's in good company. I would have congratulated him on that day, but I was a bit late. Better late than never, as the old saying goes.
Carol, I love you already. March 23, it is you and me, former Cincinnati Bengals kicker Horst Muhlman from the 1970s.
I know Horst very well.
And, we're Aries. And Amy Williams, Husker women's basketball coach, birthday is the day before that. She is
really
March 22. And while we're talking about birthdays to do, happy birthday to dual sport athlete Kennedy Williams from Husker softball and Husker women's basketball, and to volleyball middle blocker Andy Jackson, celebrating a birthday today. And I have now turned it into the Huskers Radio Network Morning Zoo. So I'm
you have all the birthdays in the back of your mind. We will have the pop culture segment. We're going to do that next.
Oh, boy.
We're going to talk a little World Cup coming up in segment 3. There's a few more things that we want to get into. So we'll dive around pop culture with Camden Coe next. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with a home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Ford is here for those who build America. Those who believe that giving everything we've got today will pay off tomorrow. Who will drive America forward for 250 years to come. If that's who you are, you value what we value. Now offering employee pricing. American value for American values. Go to Ford.com or your local Ford dealer for more information.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
The 2026 Nebraska football season is right around the corner. We need you there to continue to make the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium the best atmosphere in college football this fall. You can now choose between 2 Husker football mini plans, including a 3-game mini plan for only $185 and a 4-game mini plan for only $225. Both plans are your best way to guarantee a ticket to the Indiana or Ohio State game. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
In the mood for a wild ride? Then enter the Nebraska Lottery's Pony Payout promotion. Until July 28th, when you enter non-winning Pony Payout scratch tickets online, you could win a 2026 Ford Mustang GT Fastback. Gallop over to a Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Ford Mustang is a trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor Company is not a sponsor of this promotion. Pony Payout top prize odds 1 in 120,000.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Ford is here for those who build America. Those who believe that giving everything we've got today will pay off tomorrow. Who will drive America forward for 250 years to come. If that's who you are, you value what we value. Now offering employee pricing. American value for American values. Go to Ford.com or your local Ford dealer for more information.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, where it's mower season. Get 0% financing, professional setup, and local support you can't get at the big box store, only at Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer. Kyle and Coat here with you on a Monday night in June on Sports Nightly. And joining us here at the dais is the host of our pop culture segment. We still don't have a name for it yet. We are working on it. Camden Cohn joins us now. Before we get to all of the great stories outside of sports, or at least outside of Husker sports, and as we dive into pop culture, I guess Savannah Banana is a huge part of pop culture now. They were here at Memorial Stadium. They were at Haymarket on Thursday. Completely sold out, 85K at Memorial Stadium on Saturday. How was the event? You were there.
Yeah, I'd say it was entertaining. There was a lot going on.
A lot of sing-alongs?
There were plenty of sing-alongs. Like I said, baseball almost felt like the sideshow to it because there was always constantly something happening.
Uh-huh.
Like There's baby races, and there was people
The
filming
baby race
TikToks.
against the turtle was
That was a
my
good
favorite.
one.
Yeah,
that was my favorite part.
And Coat, you watched it on ESPN too because
Yeah, I
they
watched
play
it
him
on
on
TV,
tape
yeah.
delay.
Yeah.
It was on YouTube
TikToks.
too. It was
Yep.
live on YouTube,
Yep.
so I watched some of it.
Yeah.
I walked around Haymarket because I wanted to see what when it's a full Memorial Stadium, what around the stadium looks like, what the
Pseudo
parking
game day.
situation looks like. So that's sort of what I was doing. I could hear the PA from my patio, from my apartment. So no, it was cool and really good event, and it sounds like it went really well. And I know that Athletics learned a lot from the Zach Bryan and the weather situation that they went through there, and operations and events. Great job to everybody involved, and I know a lot of people had a lot of fun. All right, Camden, now it is time for our unnamed pop culture segment. Maybe it'll just be called unnamed pop culture segment.
Maybe we'll have a name by the time it's done. We'll see. But we're going to stick with the bananas. We just brought up the tortoise race against the baby.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw this out there. What's the fastest animal that you think that you could beat in a race?
Well, if I were Damon Benning, I would say a cheetah. He said he ran 36 miles an hour.
I remember
once.
that. We're like, there's no way.
So is that my current age?
No, it'd be prime coat.
We can do prime.
Prime coat.
So back when I was in the Navy, when I was in boot camp, boy, you know,
I'm not beating a deer.
Yeah, I gonna say a zebra.
Zebra. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go zebra.
I want to.
So now we got to look it up. See how fast.
How
zebra
fast
is.
do zebra run?
Well, I'm gonna say a highly agitated zebra who is motivated to move. Yeah, I'm
lion is chasing
35 to 40 miles an hour, Coach.
Okay, I'm going to change my answer.
I think I would do like one of those really snorty dogs, like a pug or a bulldog. I think I could beat that breed of
Because your strides
dog.
would be longer,
Yes.
right?
They would be out of breath.
Yep.
I would go with like a bulldog or a pug or something like that.
Okay, so I'll throw zebra out the window and I'll go with a rooster.
Okay,
Rooster?
I like that one.
Okay, yeah, I would say zebras, by the way, can get up to 55 miles an hour.
Oh, come on! Not the zebras I've seen. Apparently,
Let's see how fast. Yeah, roosters are about up to 9 miles an hour.
Yeah, back
So you could definitely-
back in my Navy days in boot camp, I think I could have topped out at about 11, maybe. Yeah.
I think you could easily beat a rooster.
Yeah.
I think we'd have to find somewhere
happy
in
medium between the zebra and the rooster.
I would give a dog that has trouble breathing.
Fair enough. We'll take it. So I thought that was a good one.
That was great, Cameron.
Chris brought up this one. Okay, so the Knicks just won the NBA Finals. We just talked about that. But he said if you could build your own starting five, but it had to be made up of fictional characters from movies, who would be your starting five?
Well, it wouldn't be anybody off the Monstars, I can tell you that,
No, not
because
the
they're
Monstars?
losers. They're a bunch of losers.
Monstars.
Jimmy Chitwood would definitely be in my starting five.
Does it have to be like basketball movies?
No,
like
no, it could be like any
characters?
movie.
What are we talking about? We're going to play an
building the
NBA
starting-
game? Is that
they're,
it?
They're playing basketball, but it
So
doesn't have to be a
I
basketball
could have like
movie.
Superman running the point.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
like
mean-
they're playing basketball, but it can be like any.
Okay, my point
fictional
guard is Underdog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Underdog.
Underdog, yeah. Did you guys remember Underdog from back in the when you were a kid? Did you ever watch Underdog?
Is that the cartoon?
Yeah.
The dog? They would talk like this.
Yeah, that's him, Underdog, yeah.
Was he very athletic?
Well, he could fly.
Oh, well,
would
that's
help.
good. So can Superman, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, but Underdog, I think, a lot like Brunson is diminutive. And so he causes you a lot of problems then.
And if he can fly.
Yeah, so we have him. From other movies, I think, or could it be from TV shows? Because
Sure,
I think
yep, we can do the same thing.
Walker, Texas Ranger, I think he would.
Chuck Norris?
I think he would be my Dennis Rodman enforcer in the middle. Yeah, I think we would have him.
How about Bane playing the power forward?
Oof. I mean,
We could do a collective start.
that's
We
what I
don't
mean.
have to-
Five for each is kind of a lot, but
That's
I think Bane playing the power forward.
that would be amazing. Well, either him or Mr.
what
T.
about like Godzilla? You throwing Godzilla in there? anywhere?
Godzilla. That'd be
Well, I think probably
Your
like
rim
Daryl
presence?
Dawkins, he would tear down the backboard, and then we could it'd be
Couldn't play
2-0,
anymore.
and that'd be the end of the game, probably. Wow, that's probably then. I'd probably take Sydney Sweeney to distract the other team.
Oh, there you go.
Stand her in the corner. Say that's her 3-point shooter.
Seems valid.
Yeah. So there you go. I
Got
think
Harry Potter on a broom on the wing.
Yeah.
He'd work good in transition.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
It'd be pretty quick up.
Who would you rather have on that broom, the Wicked Witch of the West, or would you rather have Harry Potter?
Yeah, probably the Wicked Witch.
Yeah, we're talking the old.
Who would want to guard E.T. one-on-one, by the way?
Well,
I wouldn't want to touch him.
Well, if we're talking that, Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, that to me, that's the guy that you would have.
You spin to the basket. Well, we gave you a mishmash of characters.
You can build your own starting 5 and bench out of those.
We'd go 82-0.
You'd have to.
I got to tell you, it's the only time I've ever had Underdog and Sydney Sweeney in the same conversation.
that was an interesting one.
That's what we aim for.
Stretch.
All right, another one. Last night, there was a UFC fight at the White House, and last year Major League Baseball played a game at Bristol Motor Speedway. Where would you want to see a sporting event played if it had to be somewhere that wasn't a traditional sports venue for that sport? So, like, even the Bananas here at a football stadium, like something like that.
Well, there's been a lot of NHL events in Major League stadiums, and there have been basketball games played on aircraft carriers, so I don't know about that. I would like to see a swimming event in the Marianas Trench.
Okay.
So NCAA swimming championships, we're going to run the 200-meter freestyle out in the ocean. Sharks, protoplasm, all that stuff out there. Yeah, jellyfish. I think that's what I'd like to see.
Something like Mount Rushmore. Could you do something at Mount Rushmore with like the backdrop of Mount Rushmore?
I'm sure you could do it with the backdrop of Mount Rushmore.
Well, like rifle. You think you could do
rifle?
that? Yeah, at Mount Rushmore.
I think that'd be my answer.
Yeah.
Maybe we should set it up for the Nebraska team, right? We have a good rifle team, right?
Yeah,
Or
we'll be
usually
great
top 10 or
rifle
so?
team. Yeah, that's what we should do.
Okay.
I like that.
That's all I got for
that.
today,
That was
guys.
fantastic.
So unless you got something else to bring up.
Honestly, that
all I got.
was fantastic.
We need a name for that, though.
We do.
Yeah, I think we need.
I'll say people
something
can
with
text in
Camden's
answers.
name in it. We need
open to everything.
We need some imaging with Camden's name in it. I mean, kind of spruce this thing up a little bit. Sure.
Can't you get Josh to produce something for the start of that?
Once we come up with an answer for him.
Josh produces everything, so we'll get him on. His.
If I come up with a
audition.
name, then we can produce.
Yes, then from there we can.
Okay.
But we got
Carol texted us, by the way, a rooster without the assist of his flapping wings. You betcha.
Let me tell you what. Carol, we are not going to give anybody an idea for me chasing a rooster at half court during a Husker women's basketball game.
I think you just gave us that idea.
We're not going to give marketing any ideas about what we could and could not do there. They used to do the kiss cam. I don't know.
Yeah.
They did that. You're not paying attention. They used to put me and Greesh on kiss cam.
Oh, yeah?
I finally had to tell marketing, we're not doing it.
Just a little
You
peck
keep
on the
coming
cheek.
to us. It's never happened. Stop doing it. I don't know if they kept doing the kiss cam or not, but that was a bad idea by marketing.
Love it. Camden, good stuff, my friend.
Thank you.
You're really bringing it. Again,
I
this
tried.
is something I wanted every single night. Jess put the kibosh on it. So we will have tomorrow, we'll have trivia with Christopher Sullivan Diaz.
I'm looking forward to that.
Maybe we'll get Matt in on something, create a segment for him. And you guys are like the only 3 people left here in studio.
For the summer right now.
Sports Nightly. So before we get some of the other interns in here, Camden, good stuff, my friend.
Thank you.
Still have more of the show coming up. Christopher Sullivan Diaz will join us, talk a little bit about the World Cup because he's been following it. So I just want to get some of the bullet points from the World Cup, what we should be watching, especially with Team USA. Softball picked up a transfer recruit that signed, Dylan Carey, the Brooks Wallace Award for the top shortstop in the country. We're actually going to have Will Bolt on the show, I believe, tomorrow. It's confirmed he'll be in studio tomorrow, so we'll get a chance to wrap up the entire baseball season, which was a magical one for sure. We'll continue on the show right after this.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever. Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked.
Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Find your next truck when you shop with Woodhouse Chevy. Explore our limited time offers available now. Lease the 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom Crew Cab 4x4 for $449 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year. Or save up to $10,000 off MSRP on all retired courtesy 2026 Silverado 1500s. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive. With approved credit, retired courtesy loaner, tax, title, license extra. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Must trade a 2011 or newer vehicle. Must finance through dealer and based upon available rebates. Expires June 30th, 2026. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles, or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Find your next SUV from Woodhouse Chevy. It's the perfect time to upgrade your drive with limited time offers available now. Lease the 2026 Chevy Traverse for $549 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year, or save up to $4,000 off MSRP. Shop online or in-store today. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive. With approved credit, retired courtesy loaner, tax, title, license extra, security deposit waived, first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Must trade a 2011 or newer vehicle. Must finance with dealer and based upon available rebates. Expires June 30th, 2026. See dealer for details.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Kyle and Coat here, final few segments of a Monday night in June here on Sports Nightly. A couple of texts coming in from our guy Shane, who I found out is Dr. J and Carney a couple weeks ago. I did not make the correlation, and I got ripped for it. He texts, Matt Coatney equals Rocky chasing chickens.
Wow. If you can't catch a chicken. Yeah, that's a good one, Shane.
And then he says Coatney can catch grease lightning, and he sent a YouTube link in the text. So,
right now I can't catch a cold. My speed is out the window right now.
Matt Coatney, voice of Husker women's basketball. Of course, we'll hear him all over the airwaves on the Football Network once football kicks off in September. To my left, we have Christopher Sullivan-Diaz, who we're putting at work tonight because I just wanted to get a vibe of the World Cup. I was watching some of it. Team USA beat up Paraguay, who I was told was probably the worst team in the World Cup. Would I have that correct? Or is there somebody worse?
Like you could say
Are they
Curacao.
bottom wrong?
You could say Curacao after that Germany match.
Okay.
Losing 7-1 is never great, but I think that it's oversold how bad Paraguay is, considering who they beat to qualify for the World Cup. They had beaten Brazil and Uruguay, who are two of the best teams in South America, two of the best World Cup teams, period. And having to qualify is a battle in and of itself. We only get so many spots, and they're probably one of the best qualification stories going into the World Cup. And this was a match that people thought was going to be like a 2-1, but the U.S., I couldn't recognize them. I didn't think that they were going to be as good as they were, but they come out looking like Spaniards. They're batting the ball around, they're comfortable with possession, and they're actually attacking. There's not just one player that can score goals like Landon Donovan back in those 90s teams. You got Balogun and you got Pulisic facilitating it. It's amazing.
Have you? What are our thoughts? And Coat, you can hop in on this on Landon Donovan's hair. Now he's got a full head of hair.
Okay, as a guy who went to high school with Brad Pitt,
did you really?
Did you not know that?
No.
Yeah. How long have you known me?
You've never told me that.
Went to high school. Brad Pitt.
Were you friends?
Oh yeah. He was a year ahead of me. I was better friends with Doug, his brother, who was 2 years behind me, and then his sister Julie.
Imagine being Doug Pitts. That's a different life, huh?
Doug's a really good softball player, by the way. But no, he reminds me of Brad Pitt's hair. That when I saw him on TV, I'm like, I thought Ocean's 11 was 25 years ago, but that hair, I'm not a big fan.
Matt Coatney was friends with Brad Pitt, and I just know this now.
Well, we need to go get some cookies and buttermilk.
Yeah.
Give the Matt Coatney story here.
So where were you when Fight Club came out? What was your...
I'll tell you this. I moved to Beatrice, Nebraska in 1995, and I'm driving the U-Haul down the main street, and there's one movie theater in Beatrice, and it says Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, 7. And I was like, that's a guy throwing spit wads in the lunchroom. It's not a guy who should be on... Now, he's a good guy.
Was he a good guy in high school?
Yeah, he was very popular with the women. But how would you like to be the musical director of the school musical, and you choose your son over Brad Pitt for the lead in the school play?
What's that? What's the other kid doing now?
Probably time. I mean, no, that's a true story.
Man, that's a very... What was the name of the high school?
Kickapoo High. Steve Warren, former Husker, Kickapoo High. Yeah.
Kickapoo High.
Springfield, Missouri.
Boy, there's a lot of... And we're just getting started on the week, Chris.
Yeah.
There's a lot
I
of
just
the onion.
ambushed your World Cup. Okay, let me ask you
Yes,
this.
please.
Yeah.
Cape Verde, which I don't think most people can find on a map, was supposed to get blown out by Spain today, and they drew, and the Cape Verde fans were marching through the airport singing like they had won. How big in the history of the World Cup was that draw?
I can't think of a bigger draw. I mean, I'm Costa Rican. The only draw I can think of that's more monumental was 2014, where Costa Rica managed to draw against England and move on in a shootout, which is unheard of. I mean, if anybody else is Costa Rican, text in. But,
Maybe Carol's Costa Rican.
Maybe.
We don't know.
Costa Rican Carol?
Yeah.
We have a lot of Carols in Costa Rica.
There you go.
But yeah, I think that is probably going to be the biggest story of the World Cup so far. The only way I could see that, even being remotely untrue in the next few weeks is if Argentina manages to get grouped. And that's just not something I see happening. And Spain is probably going to have their back to the wall going into the rest of group play from now on out.
Is Germany and Spain your favorites?
No. I think that Spain was a little overhyped going in, not just due to the fact that they have some of the best players, but I think that the Netherlands were probably my favorite team going into the World Cup, considering how well they overperform year in and year out. They have a really great talent class right now. They've probably got their golden generation as it is.
They have a lot of people from Ajax, the Netherlands. Anybody?
Yeah.
They do? Okay.
We do have some breaking news, by the way.
I just saw that.
Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech are mutually parting ways. Pete Nakos reports that is a real report. So we appreciate the World Cup talk.
Yeah, let's cut this.
But just final thing. Quick scouting report. Australia on Friday. That'll be the matchup.
The Socceroos are tough. Turkey was not a team that you could turn your nose at, and it's going to take a lot for the U.S. to turn up and get some goals in that one.
Okay, interesting matchup,
Good job,
Chris.
Chris.
You're our guy for the World Cup.
Hey,
so
I'll be
you
here
got
for
the
the rest
Costa
of the
Rica
month.
shirt on and everything. He's a White Sox fan, so
Vamos
he's
Ticos.
got a lot. He's got a lot he's
job.
got to deal with nowadays. Christopher Sullivan Diaz, great stuff on the World Cup. We'll break down this final segment of the show coming up. Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech mutually parting ways. Pete Nakos reports from On3. So we'll wrap up the show and talk about that. Come on back. The 2026 Nebraska football season is right around the corner. We need you there to continue to make the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium the best atmosphere in college football this fall. You can now choose between 2 Husker football mini plans, including a 3-game mini plan for only $185 and a 4-game mini plan for only $225. Both plans are your best way to guarantee a ticket to the Indiana or Ohio State game. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Find your next truck when you shop with Woodhouse Chevy. Explore our limited time offers available now. Lease the 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom Crew Cab 4x4 for $449 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year. Or save up to $10,000 off MSRP on all retired courtesy 2026 Silverado 1500s. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive. With approved credit, retired courtesy loaner, tax, title, license extra. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Must trade a 2011 or newer vehicle. Must finance through dealer and based upon available rebates. Expires June 30th, 2026. See dealer for details.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
Final segment of the show for tonight. Kyle Crooks and Matt Coatney. We had breaking news at the end of the last segment. The saga for Brendan Sorsby, as my mic just broke. That's more breaking news. This is like the third time this has happened, Coat, with this mic.
This is you?
We got nuts and bolts flying all over the place here.
In that Southern education you had, didn't they have preventive maintenance on equipment?
I can't do anything outside of talking to a microphone, so you're asking too much. But Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech have parted ways. According to Pete Nakos of On3, Texas Tech has called a team meeting to break this news if the team hasn't seen so already. Brendan Sorsby is applying for the NFL supplemental draft, sources tell On3 as well. So there's, again, I think the heat, it was getting too hot in the kitchen for Texas Tech. Just the more that you saw, first it was the Texas Attorney General coming out and essentially threatening the Big 12.
Yes.
Hey, you can't take action on Texas Tech. And then all the other attorney generals, 3 different attorney generals come out and telling the Big 12 to call their bluff. And Big 12 was pretty adamant that they wanted to sanction Texas Tech, whether it was financially or not letting them play in the Big 12 championship game. And the pressure was just intensifying and growing. And the NCAA was appealing the decision to try and go after Texas Tech as well and get the ruling, the injunction overturned. And here we are. Brendan Sorsby looks like he will not play another down of college football.
This is interesting because from what I read earlier today, was that even if Sorsby said he wanted to enter the NFL draft, he can't right now because he petitioned a court to make him eligible to play college football. And if you are eligible to play college football, you are ineligible for the NFL draft. So he's going to have to look at those legal wranglings. Someone may have to make a decision, but so many things happened today. The NCAA filed an appeal, the official appeal, and asking for an emergency ruling before football season starts on that lower court Texas ruling. As you mentioned, Utah's Attorney General and Governor and Kansas's Attorney General and Governor came out today with very strongly worded letters urging the Big 12 to come out. And then the big one was the Big 12 in a multi-page document.
It's like 47-page document.
Yeah, multi-page document, pretty much. And I think as much as saying, okay, you're calling our bluff, Texas Tech and Cody Campbell. I think this is a lot to do with Cody Campbell, who's had some very strong things. And I think the cooler heads prevailed in the Texas Tech camp and the Brendan Sorsby camp to say, what are we trying to do here? This does not have the ending here that we want, even if we win any kind of court of appeals. Can you imagine if Brendan Sorsby stepped onto a field? You know, the protesters that would be there, the lawsuits. So I think this is the first step towards some sanity for everything, and that college sports has needed some sanity badly lately.
Yeah, it took an issue like this to unify what has been unable to be unified in college sports. Yeah. Everyone coming together on one issue, and it took something as ridiculous as letting somebody who placed bets on his own team being able to play for everybody to step back and finally say, hey, we're actually, outside of Texas Tech, on the same page on something for the first time. And I didn't even see this until right now, but about 50 or so minutes ago, Ross Dellinger tweeted out that Michigan canceled a volleyball match against Texas Tech. Sort of a similar edict that we saw with Georgia and here at Nebraska, not willing to schedule Texas Tech because of this ruling. So you saw more and more schools become emboldened with, you know, the public, sort of the way that this is played out in public, where everyone kind of felt a little bit more emboldened to be against Texas Tech. And now you wonder, Texas Tech, where do they go from here?
That's the big question, is how much damage has Texas Tech done perception-wise? How much damage have they done among their peers? You know, we've changed conferences here at Nebraska, and so there's been a lot of give and take. But at the end of the day, you still schedule games against other schools. And if schools are unwilling to schedule you because last year you were willing to let somebody who bet on games play, this could have multiple years of impact. And I wonder if this puts in jeopardy some of the senior administration in Lubbock. This story is not done, but I think we've taken the first step towards some sanity here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So big news, Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech, they have parted ways, and Brendan Sorsby will apply to enter the NFL supplemental draft. So just wonder, how do teams at the next level look at an asset like this?
Well, how can you take him if you're – okay, so the Cleveland Browns had to deal with the circus last year with Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson. That was a circus. They dealt with that. How can you deal with a guy who had acknowledged 9,000 bets, you know, on you know, and a lot of them on his own team? I just don't know how an NFL team in their right mind is going to say, oh, we got to have this guy.
So a little bit of closure on Sorsby. Coat, we will do this. This was so fun that we're going to have you back tomorrow and then Thursday.
Great. Yes.
So Matt Coatney, appreciate him joining us. Huge thanks to Chris, Camden, and Matt, the entire crew. We're going to have Will Bolt in studio tomorrow, the head baseball coach here for Nebraska. Put a bow on what was a historic season for Nebraska baseball. We'll touch more on this Sorsby stuff, of course, Husker sports. A lot to talk about tomorrow, and we'll do so at 6 o'clock. Join us then.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From tough jobs to weekend road trips, Ford trucks are built with the power and built Ford tough durability you can count on every day. And now at Woodhouse Ford, it's even easier to upgrade with employee pricing available across the full lineup of Ford trucks. That means honest, straightforward savings on the trucks drivers trust most. Whether you're hauling, towing, or traveling, Now's the time to find your perfect Ford truck. Visit Woodhouse Ford in Omaha, Blair, or Plattsmouth, or shop online today.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
Ford is here for those who build America. Those who believe that giving everything we've got today will pay off tomorrow, who will drive America forward for 250 years to come. If that's who you are, you value what we value. Now offering employee pricing, American value for American values. Go to Ford.com.